Hello crafty friends and doll lovers. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Melody. Today I'm sharing with you the 15th project that I have completed in the Freebie Friday challenge. That challenge, for those of you who may be new, is a personal goal that I set for myself to sew something doll related each week. And the way that I'm doing that is to download the free pattern that Pixie Faire puts out every Friday. And then my goal is to sew that pattern no matter what it is. So today I am here to share with you what the pattern was a couple of Fridays ago. It was a pattern by Ma Petite Chérie Couture, and it is a medical gown. It is designed to fit 18-inch dolls, and the skill level is intermediate. Overall, I think this was a pretty straightforward sew. The only issue that I had pattern related is when it came down to finishing the center back. So I'm going to pull this doll here is a she was a Cara. I think that was the name of the doll. She was a Cara, but obviously I rewigged her and I gave her new eyes and some eyeliner. Anyway, she is wearing the finished item, and what I ran into in the center back, see if I can show you without knocking her wig off. I still haven't painted. So this is, it ties at the top and it ties at the side. The center back finishing, before you apply this twill tape here, the pattern instructions were kind of confusing. I had to read it a few times and I had to look at the photograph. Now the problem is the way that the photograph shows the pattern where you are. So the lower half, let me see. The lower portion is finished with your basic 1/4 inch seam, but this is folded under a 1/4 inch. At least that's what it showed in the pattern. So I folded it under a 1/4 inch, and then I applied this trim, which I thought was kind of odd. But that's, the picture showed, let me see if I can find it. Oh, that's right, I didn't print it out. The picture showed this portion being folded over, and this portion at the V was also folded over. You could definitely see the folded right side versus the wrong side of the fabric. But later on, when you attach the trim around the neckline, the photo shows the sleeve. When you look at the sleeve and the bodice together, it's longer and it doesn't look like it was folded. So I don't know if it was me just really not getting what the pattern designer was trying to relay in the instructions, or if the instructions did not match the photo. The only other things I ran into, okay, it's two things. One was when I attached the sleeve to the bodice, one of the sleeves somehow I rotated, so I ended up sewing the sleeve on wrong, and I didn't realize it until after I had attached all this trim, and I went to sew the side seam, and then I realized that the seam line, the sleeve, at first I thought it was an error, but the sleeve lined up on one side, but it didn't line up on the other. So I had to break out the seam ripper and rip out some seams, and then once I attached the sleeve properly, everything lined up. The second item is, so that was my error, user error. The second thing is just the nature of this twill tape. This is the twill tape I used. It's by Wrights, and it comes in a 3-yard package. So here is the tape, and you have to fold, the instructions tell you to fold the tape in half. This tape, what is it made out of? It's 100% polyester. So trying to get the tape to hold the fold was a challenge. I tried best press with the steam iron. I tried a spray bottle of water with the steam iron. Finally, I ended up using this. This is called a Tailor's clapper. So what I did was I would take my iron and hit it with a lot of steam and quickly put this down on top. And as I continued on down the length of the ribbon, and you got several different lengths in the pattern that the pattern calls for. So I had to be careful not to burn my fingers. But that was the only thing that finally caused this to to maintain the fold so that I could work with it and attach it around the neckline as the pattern, or around all of the edges. So you have it around the neckline, you have it the back neckline, front neckline, back neckline, and then along here. And then obviously you have a length that's long enough to make these ties. Oh, the other thing is it does have these, it has snaps along the sleeve. So there's the snaps. It has a pocket on the front here. And I already showed you the back. When it came to the snaps, I used this tool here. It's called the Snap Setter. I purchased this tool back when my daughter was an infant, and I was sewing her a lot of her clothes where you had the snap in the inseam, so that it would be easier to access the diaper for diaper changes. So my daughter's in her 20s now, so that tells you how long I had this. And the reason why I bought this one versus using the snap tape or using the other snap tools that were available is, at the time, the Snap Setter rings and caps came in a lot of assorted colors. So I bought a whole bunch of them, and I still have some. I have a whole lot in the size 16. This is larger than a 1/4 inch. This is closer to a 1/4 inch. This is the Snap Setter size 14 tool. So this is really ideal for doll clothes, but because I did not have the snaps that I wanted in this size, I just went with the size 16 snaps, and it looks okay. It's not close to a 1/4 inch, but it's not so big that it looks disproportionate to the doll. So that's that. Let's see, I think that's all I wanted to share with you about that pattern. Now, the pattern that was released the day before yesterday, when I saw the pattern, I really, really like this pattern. It is the Little Miss Muffet Flower Girl dress pattern. It's actually, I think it's a top and a skirt. So yeah, it says pattern includes pretty blouse with flutter cap sleeves and a lacy layered skirt. And here is the front of the pattern. So I really like that. I think that is so cute, and it's so dainty. It looks very involved. It looks like there's some lace and there is tulle. And I think it calls for, you can use quilter's cotton for the blouse and the skirt. It says some of the testers use taffeta and satin. Now, oh, and then it also says the blouse was lined with lightweight cotton, and the fine decorative net was used for the blouse and upper skirt overlays, and soft tulle was used for the lower skirt overlay. So it looks like it's a lot of different types of fabric here. Wow. So I think you're going to have the lining, the main fabric, and then a lace overlay. I have these two fabrics in my stash. I found them on clearance. It was one of these, hold on a second. It was one of these packs that it's a pre-cut cotton fabric pack. It's a yard. And I don't normally like sparkle, but I thought when I purchased it, I was like, it's on clearance and it might be something good to use for doll clothes. So I purchased it. I don't know if I'm going to use these fabrics. The cotton is, it feels thicker. I don't know if it's because it has sizing on it. Maybe the glitter makes the fabric feel a little stiffer. I have pre-washed this and it got rid of some of the stiffness, but it's still kind of stiff. Or it could just be a heavier cotton. So I don't know if I'm going to use this fabric because it might be too heavy. And the other thing is I need to be able to find coordinating lace and tulle. So if I am unable to find that, then I'm going to have to go in a different direction. It means a trip to the fabric store. But first this is one of the patterns. When I looked at the instructions look very detailed. So I'm looking forward to sewing this pattern. But it also looks to be very involved. So this is a pattern that I will probably sit down with a highlighter and make notes on the pattern, highlight things just to make sure I'm following along. I don't normally do it for the simpler patterns, but again, this pattern looks like it might be pretty involved, and I think I'm gonna have to study it just to make sure I get the required amount of fabric and notions. So that is wow. I just noticed the skill level on this is easy intermediate. So maybe it won't be as involved as I think. But anyway, this will be what I'm planning to work on this week. And hopefully, if all goes well, I'll be back with you next Sunday to share with you the finished project. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.